Hello, everyone. So much of you. Thank you for coming. Oh, one slide. Okay. So let me start off with a story. I was 15 years old. I was sitting in a class with one of my classmates, and we were discussing what kind of headphones we want to buy. And there was a particularly one headphone that we both agreed that is really cool and we wanted to buy. And the brand of this headphone was Beats 2.0. Those who know it, it is made by the person called Dr. Dre, who is a producer of Eminem. So the bottom line, it was really cool headphone. The very next day, I was scrolling through my phone, completely abandoning all the homework that I had to do, when suddenly I come across this ad. Many questions in my head, of course. How, when, where, why me? But the one question that stood above others was, what the heck? How could something that I specifically told only to my classmate could be shown right now in the form of advertisement to me? Well, of course, there were a bunch of different explanations that come to my head. But one that also stood out was that some special forces might listen to my phone. And yeah. Of course, I believe that some of you also have been in the same situation, and although I try to paint this picture in colorful ways, but those who have been there also realize that it's kind of creepy, isn't it? 8 years later, I come into the job interview in media agency BPN Intense, and I was being told really strange things. So one told me that I can show a very specific product that a person put into his basket, or I can give him a specific discount code even. And I can even put all of this information into a banner without almost any effort, just by simply taking dynamic information from the website. I was amazed. And I, of course, wanted to know a lot more. Now I understand that none of this was just a coincidence. I was leaving the breadcrumbs of my data all across the internet. And it could have been that I liked a picture of celebrity that happened to wear the very same headphone, or it could be simpler that Facebook algorithm noticed a potential amongst 15 years old, which I happen to be one of them. Currently, we don't need to guess anymore why we see a certain ad. And for example, in Facebook, you can go there and click why you see a certain ad, and there are a bunch of criteria of targeting. And for example, I randomly chose this exact advertisement for me. And the criteria was that, first of all, I have to be living in Lithuania. I have to be more than 18 years old. I had to communicate in Lithuanian. But the one thing that you could ask me, Pijus, do you fancy handbags? And I would say probably no, I do not fancy them. But few days prior to this, my brother, in a brotherly fashion way, asked me what kind of gift do I want for my birthday, and the answer was kind of simple. So yeah, I do not fancy handbags, but I sent a link to him. I showed a couple of bags that I wanted to get for my birthday. So none of this is just a coincidence. We do understand that personalization is nothing new to us. We have been living in this world already quite some time. And some of the adaptations that are happening to this tool, we cannot even control. Some of the things are happening deep down in the back end of the systems. But I was still curious to what variables I can control, and we as marketers can control, especially with the dynamic ads that we have. And I came to realization after some research done that there are two dimensions. The first is the assortment. So the more products we have in our assortment, the better chances we have that the product that the person is searching is in your store. And the second is the offer, the price, or the discount that we have. So the better your price is, basically, the more chances you have to compete with other competitors who have the same product. And when the sales are not going as we want, usually what we do is we decrease our price or bring more products to the assortment. And for a brief second, it looks like everything is fine again, and sales are coming in, and everything is good, we are all happy. But when you try to get a significant advantage above your competitors by only using these two dimensions, what happens is that competitors act really quickly. And almost in no time, you're back to square one. Competitors can mimic these actions in a blink of an eye. So this approach is becoming more and more saturated and unsustainable. But what if I told you that there is additional dimension to marketing that could go beyond traditional focus on prices or assortment and could still be measured in the performance metrics like ROAS, conversion, CPA, everything that you like? The dimension that taps into something deeper, something more fundamental to human behavior, and it's called emotions. When I first discovered that emotions could be used as one of the tools in marketing, I was amazed, and I thought that I was genius, of course. But so it happened that I wasn't the very first person, nor I was in the top 10 of those people. Actually, the very first person who has discovered that emotions could be used in marketing was Ernest Dichter. He was doing emotion-based researches for marketing because before that, all of the researches basically were conducted in psychology or sociology, but never in marketing. What Ernest was doing, he was actually bringing focus groups to his research institute, and after showing the product to this focus group and showing the campaigns, after doing the interviews, he managed to answer as one simple question: what is the emotional trigger that drives a sale? In particular, this photo, you can see one of the breakthroughs of Ernest Dichter. He was actually interviewing housewives. And the product that he was working on was baking mix, something like this. So before that, this was actually an innovative product because before that, if you wanted to bake a cake, you had to put all the ingredients yourself. And this product solved this problem, but marketers didn't understand why no one was buying it. And the answer that Ernest Dichter came about was that housewives felt guilt when buying this product or considering it. They felt guilt because baking a cake back then was basically an effort or love showing to their husbands. And when you take the effort part from the equation, well, all you left is just a cake. Fortunately, what happened is that they found a solution there. What they did, they put an instruction on the package that said that you still had to put eggs into this mixture, so you're still a chef in your house. What Ernest never did, he never directly asked their focus groups why they are choosing some products or why they're not choosing some products, because of course we know that people are irrational and our behavioral is kind of chaotic. We might buy some products because we saw an advertisement with a dancing dog, and when we compare a competitor who didn't have a dancing dog, well, we know the answer. And we might buy something because some of the reasons why we buy a product is not verbalized, and we are embarrassed because of these reasons. And this is more an interesting part for me. You might buy a product because it makes you feel rich or makes you look richer than you are. You might buy a product because it makes you feel powerful or influential. And these are none of the reasons that you really would like to communicate, especially to someone that you don't know. Our current digital market looks something like this. We all communicate pretty the same products, we all communicate the same prices, and we are not too much different, and our communication not too much different from our competitors. So the market is not looking like this, it's more looking like this. But why after this emotional breakthrough in marketing, we're still with this approach? And the answer, I believe, is kind of simple. Because when crisis is coming and when the sales are not going in, what we tend to do is when we grab the easiest and most familiar solution to us, even though it doesn't have a lasting benefit. The reason why I truly like the emotion-based marketing is because you no longer need to be the sexiest, price-wise, of course, but you can still be unique because you're no longer competing in a two-dimension marketing space, but in three-dimension marketing space. But of course, we as marketers ask questions. And one of the questions that is really important when we're talking about emotion-based marketing is, does it work? Because we understand that the uniqueness will not put bread on our tables and it still needs to be effective. So one of the examples that I'm like to show is basically the example that happened in 2020. Some of you may recognize this person. This was Nathan Apodaca. He was driving actually into his work, and all of a sudden his car broke down. Instead of calling services, he basically jumped on his skateboard, grabbed his favorite drink, and filmed this TikTok while doing this with one of his favorite songs. He posted this video on TikTok, and it went viral because TikTok viewers might have felt the same demand of freedom that he was showing in this video clip. But for us marketers, it is more interesting what happened to the beverage company that you can see on the screen. So actually, they were living their best lives also. From empty shelves to the stocks going high as they haven't been, to the PR possibilities where they give truck to Nathan, because why you need to skateboard when you have a four-wheel truck? Back then, Nathan Apodaca and many other specialists had to come up with a singular answer to why a person should consider a product. Because the media that we used back then was also singular. TV, newspapers, radio, you cannot segment audience, or you at least cannot easily segment those audiences. But currently we're living in digital space, and segmenting new audiences is a daily task for us. Just after we start working with a new client, when we are onboarding it, we usually segment these audiences into the regular ones: buyers, non-buyers, add-to-carters, frequent buyers, and there could be, of course, more. And those are all of the segments that are really important, and no one is debating that. But what if additionally to this, we would also start segmenting people by the video content they watch, the newsletter open rate for certain topic, the preference for feature, for example, blue clothes, only blue clothes, and the next one could be blog post duration time for a certain topic as well. When combining these segments, purely buying behavior segments with emotional triggers or actions that in which clients interact with you, we can get many different angles and possibilities how we can communicate with the client. So let me give you some examples. If a person added to cart but didn't finish his purchase, but we know that this person watched a video content, a funny video content, we may perhaps try in our next promotion, try to make our promotion in funny colors, perhaps write funny descriptions or funny campaign name, anything that is the preference of the customer. If our most frequent buyers, most loyal buyers, we know that they that they read a blog post and they read it thoroughly, and that blog post was a heartwarming story, you might want to send them a thank you letter for being with us all these years. We might even give him a discount for his most beloved products. And for those who tend to buy, for example, only blue clothes in your store, why not make a promotion only for blue clothes, and let's call it the Blue Day, only for blue clothes? Of course, the examples I gave you are really simple, and we can all do this even when you're back to your offices in a week. But big companies actually are investing a lot of money into personalization. Some of the examples are Spotify with their yearly music review, which we all like to share, and we feel very special when an app calls us the adventurer, to an Uber who is doing a personalized driving experience where you can select a certain topic to which you want to talk to your driver. Or even an Airbnb who are showing you dynamic ads based on your previous researches and perhaps previous accommodations. But these are just examples, but does personalization actually work? Let me give you some facts. So 35% of Amazon sales come from products you may like section. Fact number 2, 60% of movies that we watch in Netflix comes from a suggested for you section. Netflix actually is doing hell of a work when it comes to personalization. In their first original series that you can see on the screen, they made 10 different trailers for 10 different audience segments. It is the same also when it comes to their movie covers. So if you tend to watch a certain actor, you may probably see it on the movie cover. And if you tend to watch more of action movies, you probably will see explosion, shooting, or something similar like this. But where is the line? because we are constantly upgrading this personalization tool. And where is the line when we say that everybody is happy, everybody sees the advertisement that they want to see, but they're still not feeling violated because of their privacy? Because from an evolutionary standpoint, it looks like more like an old man's art collection. It starts from something really admirable, and it could end something like piece of wood or creepy lobster telephone. So can this beautiful digital creation actually also become a creepy thing? Or the better question is, can we cross the line with personalization? And as one famous politician said, yes, we can, and we already have done it. Well, not actually us, the Cambridge Analytica did. Let me tell you a story of Cambridge Analytica, and for those who may have heard it before, sorry, you'll have to sit through this. So imagine living happily your life, and all of a sudden you notice that there's more political content in social. And it kind of makes sense because elections are coming, and it's not your first election, so you kind of know that this happens a lot. But as the time goes by, you notice that there's even more political content, and one of the things you also notice that all of this is basically paid advertisements. So someone is putting a huge amount of money to show this video to you, and it's not even a product. They're not selling you anything. So what's behind this? After some time, these ads starts to trigger you because the content that they are showing is something negative. Shooting, shouting, accusing, abusing, something really negative. And after some time of watching this content, you may feel even triggered. But you're not a single fish in the pond, there's more like you. And the amount of people are so vast that it can even affect the elections. Of course, I'm talking about the Trump and Hillary elections, presidency elections. But the more shocking fact is that Facebook itself gave your personal information to Cambridge Analytica. This data consisted of the things you love, the things you hate, things you admire or fear. This data consisted of the things, for example, you wrote an angry comment on the post, or, I don't know, reacted to a photo. Of course, all of this data was systemized so they could use it in a simple way. But this is not a point who won or who lost the election. The point is that we are not just marketers, we're also consumers, and we should be able to know how our data is being used. So yeah, of course we know that personalization is a tool, it's our future, and it's already is our present, but we as marketers are the face front of this tool, and we need to make sure that this tool doesn't become a weapon against us. Thank you.